Welcome to my first video of Diablo 4. This is going to help you learn how to Soul Rift with Season 10. It's broken. And by that I mean good broken. It's finally got a damage capability that we don't have to wait on resource, we don't have to wait for cooldown. For the most part, we don't have to do a whole lot of anything other than do damage, which is what we have been missing a huge part of. Now, there's the perk that gives ultimates a core tag, and it gives core skills an ultimate tag, and this helps us with Soul Rift because now we can spam Soul Rift and not worry about a cooldown, and there's a few other perks that allow us to not worry about resource. This is a very, very hardcore viable build. You do need Lucky Chance to be able to keep your survivability up, but that comes with necrotic fortitude. All that does is allow you to have a lucky hit chance to gain barrier, and with the amount of hits that we're doing, we are constantly at full barrier even when we get hit by 300 things at the same time. I've found that about 60% lucky hit chance might do the job on Soul Rift. It could be lower than that, but I just, with the gear that I've been using, I just went all in with everything. It might get patched before before live hits, but I'm gonna go ahead and go over it with you. You get full souls per second per enemy that we hit, up to 3 enemies. And with the new way that Soul Rift works is that it stacks up to 10 times. So every single second we're able to collect 120 souls, which is great. That means that we are doing 120 instances of damage per second when we have all 10 Soul Rifts up. And we get the recast going away for it and the cost of essence, but we don't worry about that. You can go ahead and cast an ultimate skill and you gain resource, but that's not too viable. That doesn't give you a whole lot of flexibility when it comes to this once you learn how to do it. So what we need to do is we need to get the other perk that allows us to use our potions when we're full. And this gives us 0 resource cost, it gives us attack speed, it gives us movement speed, which is great. The downside, 4-second duration, and it puts our potion at a 10-second recast. Why does this happen? Because they don't want us to have fun things. But in order to bypass that, we get Apogeeic Furor. And if you know what that is, that's a very, very strong ultimate thing that we have. Every single time you cast an ultimate, you do X amount more damage depending on where you put it on with your gear. But we don't care about the damage as much as the other side of it. It gives us the perk of every single time that we go and we hit that 10 stat cap, all of our cooldowns reset, which also includes the potion. So we have an infinite amount of use of potions with how this build works. And you might be asking, well, you can't really keep infinite potions if you are always using them. Well, that's wrong. Every single time you absorb 30 souls, you get a potion charge with Soul Rift. And if we look at that with the math, every single second with 10 stacks, we're gaining 4 potions per second, which is insane. We won't run out of potions like that ever. We won't ever have a time, unless we're not attacking something, that doesn't have us use, or doesn't have us a potion to use. So we use our potion, We fill up our life. It's a gradual effect, but we can constantly keep our damage up. We can constantly have 0 essence cost on it, so we don't need specific tempers. And this will be happening 100% of the time, because if you notice, right here, I can spam my potion and it instantly comes back. Once I hit the 10 stacks, see, oop, boom, reset. It's great. It's exactly where we need it to be. And you can sit there and spam your potions when you're about to die, and we have that cooldown. So unless you're attacking with your Soul Rift, it's not going to happen. So we can do one of two things to get around that. One of the things is we can use the Rogue Unstoppable rune so that we can get we tag that with our ultimate. Whenever we cast an ultimate, we build that up. It takes 6 casts, 4 casts, one of those, and it allows us to get unstoppable 100% of the time. Well, sorry, 80 to 90% of the time, which in a world where we don't have an unstoppable other than Blood Mist, this helps immensely. So it will help us get out of all those rocky spots. It will help us get into all the different spots that we want to be rather than dying. Because, you know, dead Necromancer does no damage, even though they can play with the dead. It keeps going like this. If you notice, I do lots and lots and lots of damage. Later on, this is the boss. Like, I'm just zooming through a pit 100. Yeah, I died because I wasn't like fully committed to this, but this is where the boss is. Now, this is the pit 100 boss. And it just dies. It might not be the fastest kill ever with how the Raven Druid work, because, you know, we need that kind of broken, right? But it kills pretty fast. Now, I went through and I was able to perfectly masterwork everything. You don't need to have the perfect masterwork gear unless you want to actually push to the top. So, because we get the core skills, I got the Air of Perdition, which makes it to where I triple hit the core skills. I got really lucky with the PTR. I don't ever really get this to happen with the mythics, but the main things that you want is the critical chance to be GA'd and the core skills to be GA'd. This is almost required to get to that point of 100% crit chance, because you want that for the souls that come off. Even though they are considered damage over time, they crit, and they will crit hard because of all the stacking mechanics that we have. So our goal is to get as much core skills, because guess what? It's an ultimate skill now with a core tag, and it has a resource cost, so we can spam it like crazy. So having the higher core skills is going to help more. And then we want to try to get the all stats on it. The two things that we want is the max life and the all stats. This is a very, very low life build, so as much life as we can possibly squeeze in there, the better. You're looking at having maybe 7,000 life maximum, but as long as you're spamming your Soul Rift and your potions, you're gonna have the equivalent of billions and billions of life, effective life pool. And then Reaper's Pursuit. This is where the movement speed from the potion doesn't matter, because that's giving us, with the PTR, that's giving us 60% movement speed per darkness skill on the bar. It also gives us 60% damage. No, I think that's wrong. Hold on. it is giving us 6 per. 2 per, so 30, 40. I apologize. That's 40. I'm just going off of no sleep and lots of poor memory at the moment. So, in total with the PTR, and yes, the Shroud is bug. It's giving us 2 points for every passive instead of 1. It might not be a bug. They might have put it in to test things with, because they might be going in a different direction with everything. But let's assume it's a bug. Let's assume that it's not going to be where it needs to be. Losing 1 point out of everything is going to take this down probably a tier or 3, but it's not going to make it like very, very terrible. So we got the Reaper's Pursuit. We want to have Reaper's Pursuit and Gloom. Those are the only 2 things that we care about, is Reaper's Pursuit and Gloom. This is where I get all of my lucky hit chance from. This is what makes it work very well. But of course I got the attack speed, and I needed to hit that critical strike chance so that I could hit that 100% crit chance. It's very, very needed for the whole thing. This one, I don't think that we need the primary resource because of the way it operates. We don't need it. We really do not need it. The lucky hit chance, we could use it for additional damage. Doesn't need to be on there. We need that darkness skills, because Soul Rift is a core skill, an ultimate skill, and a darkness skill, meaning it gets a bonus from that. Now the major caveat is darkness skills also chill enemies for up to 100%, and then when they're frozen, you do 2.4 times the damage, which is insane. And with as much damage as we're doing, they're getting frozen all the time. We really would rather have the intelligence as a GA and the darkness skills as GA, so that we can put our damage up higher. But if we get this as a GA, take that too. And then this is where it all comes down to it. We want a 2-handed axe. Damage over time, damage over time. I would prefer to have triple hit. Triple hit the finality. But you want 3 GA on int, life, and damage over time. Corrupting damage. And then we hit this with blighted aspect, so that every single time that we do damage, the key passive deals 70% increased damage, which is great. And then I have this set up to where whenever I cast an ultimate skill, I use Mystical Frost Nova. Normally, I'm doing that with the Rogue Concealment, so that I can get my Unstoppable, or I'm going to be using that with Vortex, so that I can pull all the enemies into me and I don't have to worry about running all over the place. Because let's face it, when I'm spamming my Soul Rift, can't really keep going with moving and everything, because it does require me to stop. And then we get over to the rings. I chose to go with as much attack speed as I can, so that I can get as much damage as I possibly can from just spamming everything. And I don't know if attack speed helps at all, but I know it lets me cast Soul Rift faster. I don't think it helps with the actual damage instances. I think it just helps me get my potions back faster and everything. So we might not need to have the attack speed. I just went with it. Also intelligence, damage over time, corrupting damage, and we don't have a whole lot that we can utilize here, so I opted to put ultimate skills restore primary resource, so I don't have to worry about spamming my potion whenever. We come with sacrifice bonuses. This is where it plays a major part, because we get the extra multipliers from sacrificing all 3 minions. Then we come, this is the Ophidic Furor, or whatever it's pronounced as. As you can tell, the life per second, don't really need that. I'd much rather have intelligence, attack speed, damage over time, shadow damage, or corrupting damage. I'd probably put corrupting damage here instead. But as we see, 10 stacks, your cooldowns and this bonus are reset. This means that my potion gets reset every single at 10 stacks. And I'm casting it at a whopping 10 soul rifts per 2.5 seconds or something like that. So it's always resetting my cooldown on it. And this is where I was trying to figure out what I could do. I don't need to have 3 of the ultimates on here. So I went with Crippling Darkness to kind of get an extra stun in when I can. I went with Corrupting Damage and Coalesced Blood, Terror, and G8 Intelligence. Now this is where a lot of your damage comes from because we're using Shadowblight. And I did the shadow damage, vulnerable damage, and crit damage, which is insanely powerful for us. Then as you can see, like here with this, it's got 2 out of 3, so the Shroud is not doing well for us. It just keeps coming and coming and coming, and like I've got the healing so that I can try to keep myself alive, but I also didn't have many other places to put everything. But let's see. I think I hovered over Soul Rift. So right there, we're doing quite a bit of damage every 8th time that they receive shadow damage from us. And if you recall, they are every second we're doing 10 instances of 100 or of 12 attacks. So they are taking Shadowblight damage like crazy that also can crit as far as I understand. And I got the Paragon board. I'll post that all in the planner and everything for it. But let's kind of go over how this all operates. So I think that this is like best of the best. I need to change things up on this to like this right here. This should probably be Crippling Darkness so that we can get that extra damage. Unfortunately, this is not updated where I would like it because I can't see like all the damage that comes with it. Like it's not showing everything that it's capable of because it's also not showing that it's a core skill. It's not showing the damage that we'd be doing with it because I don't have anywhere that I can do anything else with it. So I'm still trying to figure out what's going on with it. Which is dumb. Oh no. I think I might have messed that up. Hold on, let's do this. There you go. This is my planner again. So as you can see, Ebon Piercer, Fist of Fate, Bloodless Scream. We've got all this. We've got all of this. This is like the ideal setup to get what we need to have happen. The only reason why we're using Corpse Explosion here is so that we can get that extra darkness tag. But overall, this build hits hard, it hits fast. And as you can see, it was clearing some gnarly, it was surviving in pit 150. And it was able, I think I cleared pit 110 in about 11 or 12 minutes. And that was without having everything like super perfect. So you could probably go with having all the things that you need to be just going and going and going with it. Now, this is until you get your full armor. Because resistance is not going to be an issue because we're using multiple things to get resistances. I chose Variana for the Bloodthirst on it. Once we get our attack capped, we can swap over the two, and then we can just do better damage in general. This will allow us to swap Variana over, and we can get the full attack speed possibly and see how that goes, but I didn't have time to test any of that. Also, having to re-level the mercenaries every PTR is ridiculous. Blizzard needs to get on that and change that really freaking quick. But all in all, this is how everything goes. This is my version of the Shadowblight. There's a few things that you can change around, but I will be posting this so that we can kind of get it going. Again, if you enjoyed this, please make some comments, like, subscribe, all that fun stuff. There's going to be many more videos where this has come from. Hope you enjoyed.